Hi everyone. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about arithmetic sequences. So what is an arithmetic sequence? It's a sequence that uses addition to get from one term to the next. And then the number that we add to each term is called a common difference. And the letter it's denoted by is D. So let's take a look at these examples. It says find the common difference in the sequences below and find the 10th term. So how am I getting from 15 to 20 to 25 to 30? It looks like we're just adding 5 from one term to the next. So we call that our common difference and we label it with the letter D. So D equals 5. Now let's look at the second. How do I go from 100 to 97 to 94 to 91? Looks like the numbers are getting smaller and looks like we are decreasing each of them by 3. So this time we just say our common difference is -3. So if you see the word negative or subtraction, you just have to write it as a negative addition. That's all. Now to find the 10th term, all we're going to do is count. We've got 1 terms, 2, 3, 4. So we just have to keep going. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So let's keep counting. So this is up by 5, so 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and 60. So my 10th term, a sub 10, let's write our proper notation, 10th term is equal to 60. Same concept would apply for number 2. So take a minute, follow the pattern, and see if you can find me a sub 10, which is my 10th term. And then hit resume when you're ready for the answer. All right, take a look at what I got. So I got that my 10th term was in fact 73. So there's got to be an easier way than counting, right? Because what if I said I wanted you to find the 100th term? You'd be here forever just making lines until you got to the 100th term. So there's actually a formula that we can use to find any term of an arithmetic sequence. And that formula is a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. Now, we need to know what each of these letters represent. A sub n is any term of the sequence. A sub 1 is my first term. D is my common difference. And N is the term number. So let's talk about what this means through an example. So this one says, find the 40th term of this sequence. So obviously we could just keep drawing lines until we got to 40 terms, but that would take forever. So this formula will be helpful. So let's just start by writing it again. A sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. So I want to find the 40th term. We know that the 40th term can be represented by a sub 40. So I'm going to do that, a sub 40. Next, a sub 1 is my first term of the sequence, which here is 8. So 8 is my a sub 1. And now it's asking for n. Well, I already put n to be 40 because I want to find the 40th term, so I have to put n to be 40 here. And then d is my common difference, like we discussed. So how am I getting from 8 to 11 to 14, and so on? So it looks like we're having a common difference, d, of 3. So we're going to put d in here. And we're technically multiplying it, right? So we can put those in parentheses as well. So take a minute, pause the video, type this whole thing into the calculator just the way you see it, and then hit resume when you're ready for the answer. All right, this is what I got. I got 125. So that would be my 40th term. And that's how we write it. All right, so let's take a look at example number 2. We should call that 2, not 3. There is a typo here. This should say 113 at the end there. So it wants to ask for the total number of terms in the sequence. And remember, the term value is n, right? The number of terms that we have. So we're going to solve for that. So we have a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. So my a sub 1 is my first term, which is clearly 5. The n is what we want to find, so we're going to leave that alone. My common difference, d, is what I'm adding to get from one term to the next. So I'm getting smaller, so 5 take away 4 is 1. 1 take away 4 is -3. So this proves that my common difference is -4. If you're not sure how to get the common difference, you can always subtract any two numbers. So we're going to subtract 1 and 5. So 1 minus 5, that gives me 4. We could also subtract negative 3 and 1, and that will give me negative 4 as well. So that's another way to find the common difference, is if you just go backwards. So my D value is negative 4. Now, what is the value of a sub n? So a sub n is the nth term. So the nth term is this ending value. So you can label this as a sub n. So put that in as 113. And then all we have to do is solve. So even though the negative 4 is on the back, we can still distribute. So negative 4 times n is negative 4n. Negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. And we bring down our 113 and our 5. We can combine like terms. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 minus 4n. We can subtract 9 on both sides. We get 104 equals negative 4n. And divide both sides by negative 4. And will give me 26. So the total number of terms that would take me to get to 113 would be 26. If you want, you can prove it. I'm not going to do that. That would take forever. We'd have to keep subtracting 4 until we got to 113. All right, let's take a look at the back. So sometimes the questions will ask you to find a formula that you can use to find any term of a sequence. The following are all equivalent ways of asking this. They could ask, find the formula for the nth term, find the nth term of the sequence, and find the explicit formula. Hopefully they use explicit formula the most. That's the one I've seen, but be aware that they could be all three. So example number 1 says, given the following sequences, determine the formula for the nth term, or aka the explicit formula. So the way that we get the explicit formula is to use the formula that we've been using. So a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. So all we're going to do to find the explicit formula is you're going to leave n alone and solve in terms of n, meaning n will be in your answer. So in this first example, a sub 1 is 3, so we can go ahead and do that. We're going to leave n alone. We're not going to touch it or put anything into it, but we do need to find my common difference. So how am I getting from 3 to 6 to 9 to 12? Looks like we're adding 3 to both times. So 3 is my common difference. So we're leaving a sub n alone. And now we're going to distribute and simplify. So we'll take the 3 in. 3 times n is 3n. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. And then we bring down our 3 and my a sub n. Let's combine some like terms. I think we have a 3 and a negative 3 that'll cancel. So a sub n is equal to 3n. Nice and simple, nice and short. This is my explicit formula that I can use to find any term of the sequence. So for example, if I wanted to find a sub 200, the 200th term of the sequence, all I have to do is plug in 200 times for n, and then it would give me 600. So my 200th term would be 600. Okay, just for purposes of time, I'm going to skip number 2. Feel free to try that one on your own, and we can go over it tomorrow. All right, last but not least is the other types of questions that this could ask. So it could say something along the lines, the third term of a sequence is 7, and the 7th term is 23. Find the common difference. So let's map this out first. So first term, second term, third term. So let's call this a sub 3. Third term is 7. Fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. So a sub 7 is 23. So the first thing they're asking us to find is the common difference. And the best way to do this is to map it out. So if I take my 7, I need to add some common difference to get to this term. Then I need to add that common difference again to get to this term. Need to add it again to get to this term. And then I have to add it one more time to get to 23. So what we can do is make an equation. We're going to start with 7, add these amount of d values to get 23. So you can say that all of these d's added together are 4 d's. d plus d plus d plus d is 4. So we can say 7 plus 4D must equal 23. Start at 7, add these 4, end at 23. And all we have to do is solve. So we're going to take 23 and we're going to subtract 7. And that'll give us 16. And then to solve for D, we're going to divide by 4. And 16 divided by 4 is 4. So you can always test it out and see that it works. So take 7, add 4, you get 11. Take 11 plus 4, you get 15. Take 15 plus 4, you get 19. Take 19 plus 4, you get 23. So it works out nicely. So we can easily find the common difference, which we did. So that value here, this is part A. Part B is asking for the first term. So my first term is A sub 1, which is here. So if I'm adding 4 going to the right, I must be subtracting 4 going to the left. So I'm going to go this way. I'm going to minus 4. That's going to give me 3. Go one more time, minus 4. That's going to give me negative 1. So part B, the answer for my first term is negative 1. And then last but not least is to find the 15th term of this sequence. You can keep counting or you can use the formula. So A sub n equals A sub 1 plus n minus 1 times D. A sub 15 means the 15th term. Take A sub 1, which is negative 1. Since I put 15 in for n, I have to put 15 in for this n. Minus 1, and we know that my common difference now, D, is 4. So to find the 15th term, all we have to do is plug that into the calculator. So take a minute, pause the video, type that in just the way you see it, and then hit resume when you're ready for the answer. All right, I got 55. So this is the answer to part C. All right, that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, now is a good time to jot them down. Otherwise, we'll see you in class tomorrow. Have a good night.